Here we go. We are going to kick off our mid-month check-in with the amazing and beautiful Kaitlin Rainey. Kaitlin, take it away.
All right. Well, first, I just have to say thank you to Anissa and Tony for even just giving me the opportunity to share. I by no means have all the answers, but I'm just going to share what has worked for me and what I feel like are just some good strategies and best practices to put in place as you are trying to grow your social media. TikTok has kind of become my thing. I did not intend it to be originally or at first, but that has just been what happened and what took off for me. So we're just going to kind of go through some of the things that I feel like have made me the most successful, and hopefully, it will be helpful to you. So yes, I've got the TikTok glow up guide, and hopefully this will lead you to grow faster, engage better, and convert more, because that's ultimately the goal, right? Is to convert your views into sales, your views into engagement, so that you can, gain more followers and ultimately more sales. So you can move to the next one. All right, so I just had a quick introduction for myself. Anissa already mentioned I am a school teacher. I'm 37 years old, grew up in the middle Georgia area. I'm just a good country girl. Nothing special about me. I'm just me. I've been married for 17 years to my high school sweetheart. We have 3 kids, included a picture of my family there. So just so you can see what's most important to me. And I've been teaching for 13 years. I teach middle school, might be a little crazy, but I do love it. And that's my day job. But over the last year or so, I have worked to grow my social media in the TikTok realm and have gained over 41,000 followers at this point is where I'm at. So I'm just going to be sharing over the next few slides just some of the strategies that I have put into place in order to gain those followers and convert that into sales and being a TikTok shop affiliate and all of that. All right, you can move to the next one. These are my socials. I have TikTok. Like I said, that's kind of become my biggest thing with my followers, but I do have Facebook, do have Instagram um, as well. And that's just me. So you can move to the next one. All right. So the first thing I feel like first and foremost is understanding the platform of TikTok itself and just knowing kind of how it works. Because if you don't know how it works and what's most important, and kind of how it pushes out and things like that, then you're not going to be successful. So I feel like the first thing, let's see right here, babe, is TikTok prioritizes watch time. So when you push out or when you put out a video, um, your goal is to have people watch your whole video, whether it's a 5-second video, a 10-second video, or a 3-minute video. You want to keep people engaged. You want to keep them entertained or interested or whatever it is. And the more they watch and the longer they watch, the more your video is going to get pushed out. That's just part of the algorithm. Trends are a huge thing. Trends change daily, weekly. So if you are up to date on, the trends, I will say the app Trend Talk is a good app to download. It gives all kinds of information about trending hashtags, trending content, things like that. I have downloaded that just as an outside resource to keep me up to date on trends, because that really is something that helped me start gaining my following. I mean, when I started on TikTok, I had 18 followers. It was, my friends and family. And once I started posting and using those trends, that's when, things kind of started picking up for me. The algorithm, it starts with showing your content to a small batch of people. So it starts with 50 people. And depending on watch time and completion rate, with how, how many people stay on that video for a certain amount of time. It's going to push it out to maybe a batch of 200 people, and then maybe 1,000, so forth and so on. So it kind of, pushes it out in these batches. So your hook and that first part of your video is truly what matters. You want to catch attention. All right, you can move to the next one. All right, so the hook, that's really the first thing that's going to catch attention. And of course, all of these things are just ideas and strategies that I use to gain my following. And because at the time, and I know it's gone kind of back and forth as far as how many followers you have to have in order to gain TikTok affiliate status, where you can actually start selling products. It was 1,000, and then when 1,000 followers, and then whenever I was doing this a little over a year ago, I had to have 5,000 followers in order to gain access to become a TikTok Shop affiliate. So I was doing all of these things trying to get to that 5,000 follower mark so that I could apply to become affiliate, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to sell, certain products on TikTok to kind of be, my side hustle and things like that. So you want to nail that first 1 to 3 seconds. You want to gain their attention. You can do that using a bold statement. You can use that doing just a quick visual. That's a lot of times what I do. My niche and what I typically do is about 90% fashion oriented. At this point, I dabble in the beauty industry, makeup and hair, skincare, things like that. Also some home, appliances, but mostly fashion. So a lot of times, I might in that first 1 to 3 seconds, throw on a jacket. If I'm trying to sell a jacket or a vest, I might whirl it around and put it on. Just that visual. Walking outside or coming through a door, or anything like that, stepping away from the camera, coming to the camera, any kind of visual change is going to hook someone's attention or grab their attention. Any text on screen, you're not always in front of the camera. I'm not always in front of the camera. Sometimes I do faceless content. I might just film, some, specific details or something like that of a pair of pants, or maybe if it's a beauty product, the lipstick bundle, the lip bundle, lip liner, lipstick, lip gloss, things like that, where it's not necessarily me in front of the camera. Having that text on screen, is helpful to hook their attention so that they know what your video is about. Also using phrases like, you won't believe, or you've got to watch this, things like that. Any kind of statement like that to grab their attention is going to be or serve as a hook. And there are lots of other ones out there. These are just some that I tend to use because they're super easy. Moving around, that text on screen, all of those things are super easy ways to grab people's attention. All right, you can move to the next one.
So, Kaitlin, I have a question. I have a
Mhm.
question.
Yeah,
So
sure.
what you were just talking about, is that for lives as well as curated content?
So I would say that's more for like short videos.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yes, that's more for short videos. Now, I have on here like a couple more slides down the road. I think I'm going to mention live videos because that is super important, and I feel like that's super helpful. With gaining that traction, that following, and causes TikTok to push you out more, because it's almost like this algorithm is sitting there waiting to see, are you serious? Like, are you serious enough? Are you taking this serious enough to spend a certain amount of time, making these videos, sitting on these lives for this amount of time, trying to gain this following. And so lives are a huge part of it. But what I'm referring to at this point are just like short videos. So sound strategy, this was also a big thing for me with coming up with content when I was trying to gain my following and build my following. Using any kind of trending sound is huge. So when possible, even if it's just a 6 or 7 second video of you, it can be something that you're repeatedly seeing on your FYP. That is something that's trending. They have TikTok on the back end has a creative center for each user, and you can go in and you can search songs that are trending or songs that are trending, in the early stages using that app that I talked about just a second ago, Trend Talk. That is another way where you can find those early trending stage songs where you can get in early. If you can get in early, that's where you want to be. I know there was a couple of videos that my husband and I did, like a dancing video. Um, uh, what was the other one that we did? You make the sound and I make the face video. Just different little trending things that I'd have 200,000 views or 50,000 views, and I gained a lot of my followers just using those little trends. Just silly things, but that are easy to have fun with. But trending sounds are very big with trying to gain following. And then when something works, reuse it. So if it does well for you, reuse that sound again a few videos down the road. That way, it's continuing to get pushed out, and you're gaining that following. All right. The next thing is just knowing your audience and knowing your niche. So obviously for us, ultimately we're pushing the beauty industry, we're pushing hair care. But for me right now with my following, my niche is fashion. I would say, like I said a few minutes ago, 90% of what I do with my videos is fashion oriented. Clothes, things like that. It could be mostly for me, but there are a few like men's things, kids things that I've done as well. Also, once you kind of find, what that niche is that you feel like you kind of want to dive into, then you know what your target audience is wanting you to push out, it's wanting to watch. There's also in the back end of TikTok, you can analyze your data. Like you can analyze who's watching your videos. How many seconds are they watching your videos? At what point are they stopping and getting off your videos? Is it men, women, the age, all those things? TikTok analyzes that for you. I don't know if we want to get into all that today. That might be a training for like a later date. But there's all sorts of things that you can do, like data wise, that can help you kind of narrow down and know, best times to post, what your audience is truly interested in and what they're watching of what you're putting out there. And then once you find and figure out what your niche is and what you're wanting to push out, find some creators, some bigger creators that have proven to be successful and mirror their format. So like for me, fashion is my thing. I have 3 or 4 larger creators that I kind of go to and watch that, they have proven formats. They have proven to be successful with the way that they do things and the way that they share things in the format of their videos. And I kind of mirror mine after theirs, not copy theirs, because you definitely want to make it your own and put your own unique twist on it. But if it works, why reinvent the wheel? So definitely, look for those larger creators where they've been successful and it's working for them, and you can, kind of mirror what you're doing after what they have done. Okay. Trends again. I talked about trending sounds, but just to reiterate, you want to get in early. So within the first couple of days, if you're seeing things consistently pop up on your FYP, you want to engage in those trends yourself, comment on those posts, comment on those videos, type in those keywords, whatever that trend is, some kind of dancing trend or a trending song or trending sound, type it in the search bar of TikTok. Comment using the words of that trend on a video that you see it in. All of those things kind of help. If you put a video out about it, it's going to tell TikTok, they're going to push it out more. It's all about this algorithm and knowing how to work it. but also make it relevant and fit it to what you're doing. So, yes, you want to be in that trending realm, but you want to add value also. And so, you might use a trending sound, but then, adding my own content with, a top or, a jacket or whatever that I'm making a video about, and I'm putting that out there, then that combination, is what's going to help push that out. So definitely kind of combining the trends and just whatever, your niche is what's going to make you you, and it's what's going to push you out there. All right. So the next one is probably the scariest for some people, but it's just showing your face. And I know a lot of creators that they put stuff out there and it's faceless content and they're just filming, um, whatever the product is, or whatever, and they never show their face on the camera. But I truly feel like putting my face in front of the camera, it increases trust with my viewers and holds their attention, and keeps that retention. And I just feel like it's important. I feel like it builds almost a relationship between you and your viewers. I just feel like TikTok likes that, seeing you in front of the camera. If you're totally scared to put yourself in front of the camera, putting your voice out there, doing a voiceover, things like that is, that's another strategy that you can use. But I definitely feel like putting yourself out there, talking to the camera, and putting your face on the camera is super important. And the third bullet on this particular slide is one that Tony mentioned earlier, and that's live streaming. So I definitely see a huge difference in views and followers in all the things when I consistently go live. So when I first started building, trying to build my following, I was just posting little short videos. I do the trending things. But when I started going live, that is when I really saw the most difference. And, that's just another aspect of putting your face out there. And I know it might seem a little bit scary, but honestly, to me, it's worth it. And I feel like getting out of your comfort zone it's just part of it. And so, TikTok truly rewards that. So I feel like that is a huge part of building your following and getting your views up and putting yourself out there live streaming. Obviously, once you have your following and you get to that TikTok shop affiliate status, you have things to promote, you have things to sell. And so it makes it a little bit easier going on live. But when, sometimes it might be a little bit harder being on live when you're just trying to gain following, but come up with some things to talk about and some questions to ask. And, there's communities out there in TikTok that you can go live and be in groups with multiple people at the same time. So it's definitely something that I would highly recommend and suggest if you're trying to gain that following on TikTok.
Okay, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
What is like the optimum time to be on live? Like how long? What should your duration be?
So I would say at least an hour. If
Oh,
you're, yeah, I would say at least an hour. Once I get to about that 30-minute mark, you can kind of start seeing the viewers building. But as far as retaining a large amount of viewers on that live and people joining your live, I would say 45 minutes to an hour is where you really start seeing the difference. I mean, there's people that sit on live for hours and hours a day.
oh,
Obviously,
yeah,
not
we know.
everybody has time for that, and you can't do that. But if you have time to dedicate, even if it's just, an evening a week or a couple evenings a week where you can do 45 minutes to an hour, if you're really serious about building your following on TikTok, that is something that I highly suggest, and encourage you to do.
Is
So, Caitlin, quick question, because
Mhm.
when I was doing a bunch of research on this, and when I started going live a week ago, I kept seeing okay, so you're saying at least 45 minutes to an hour, and then I've been seeing and reading at least 20 minutes to get that maximum exposure. So the longer that you go,
Yes, the longer you go,
okay.
the more difference you're gonna see. Like,
Okay.
I know I talked whenever you and I talked on the phone. I kind of went through a phase a few weeks ago where I took a step back from TikTok. You know, we had a lot going on personally, just super, super busy with things, and I was still posting daily. I wasn't posting as much, but I had not been on live. I just wasn't as consistent as I had been. And I definitely saw a drop in views. You can lose followers, you can lose, and when you lose followers, you lose your likes and things like that. So, it TikTok, it's a crazy thing, but the last couple of nights I have gone live, even if it's just, like last night I was pushing an air humidifier for like 45 minutes. And like today, the my views are like I'm seeing a pickup in my views alone in my short content videos just by going live in the last couple of days. Like it makes a huge difference.
Is
So,
there an optimum time? Like, is there a time of day that is best to do that? Or is it all kind of based on the following that you have so far?
well, I mean, I do think a lot of it is based on following, but I would say evening is the best time. Anywhere from like 7 to 9, 6 to 9, or 7 to 9, I would say is probably optimum time. That's what I have seen. I have also done Sunday afternoon, evenings, and that has seemed to be um, successful for me as well. So weekends can be kind of funny, but I feel like Sunday afternoon and evening is good. And in any weekday, I feel like evening is always better.
Caitlin,
And
I have a question.
oh yeah, sure.
Well, my question is, so you're doing a live video on fashion, and what in the world are you going to spend 45 minutes to an hour? I mean, are you putting on your own little mini fashion show? Seriously, I mean, that's a long time in
Yes.
the fashion. I mean, or even doing makeup or anything. That is a very long time.
It
I'm
is a
just
long
curious.
time and it is
Yeah.
exhausting. Like I will tell you, it is exhausting because I repeat myself over and over and over again. So if I'm on there selling, a shirt, or whatever, I'm talking about the shirt, I'm talking about the material, the fit, the stock, the sale, the shipping, the whatever, the colors. I'm showing how it fits, but I'm literally doing that over and over and over again because a lot of times, people are in and out of your lives. So they might come in, mid spill of whatever, I'm saying, and they might have missed some of what I said. So it's like I'm having to repeat myself over and over and over again. Now, for our purposes, an idea I thought about was if when you're doing your wash parties or you're doing anything like that, if you go live on TikTok, you know, you could spend an hour or more hours just being live, washing people's hair and talking about the products and things like that. So, there's definitely, I feel like, a lot you can do with it. Now, as an affiliate, like I said, when you're trying to sell things and not just give information and pique people's interest and have conversations, through comments and things like that, when you're trying to sell things, you're repeating yourself over and over and over again. So you definitely, like, having a script in front of you is key, I feel like, so you're not leaving out information. Um, there's a lot to it. You definitely want to be super knowledgeable about whatever it is that you're talking about. So like I said, you want to feel confident, you want to feel prepared because I feel like that's really what sells whatever it is you're putting in front of the camera.
So I also want to point out, Caitlin, and I don't know, what your most successful show has ever been this is like a QVC live, okay? So that's the first thing. You also want to provide massive amounts of value, right? So
Yeah.
you've already built that. And I've already started noticing that. And you guys, the longest live that I did was 41 minutes. And Monica, I think that one was with you, I think, that we did on Monday of last week.
Yeah, it was 41 minutes and some change.
2,300 views. The one that I did today was 28 minutes. I had 4,300 views, but I have gone live every day since then, except for
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the conversion yet, but I've started building relationships because a lot of the people that are listening to, my educational series,
Yeah.
um, it's resonating with them, and that's what, we're trying to build around. But here's another thing that I always do. Talk about a topic. You can talk about a topic that anybody that's passionate about a topic, you don't even realize that you're talking about it for 40, 45 minutes, right? But
Right.
I weave in, yeah, and this is why we started our own company. This is why we did this. This is why we did that. But also, Kaitlin, to what you were saying is that I learned on like the second live is that you have to be repeating exactly what you're talking about, like literally every 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I was on the right path and just trying to clarify this. Guys, this is not a full-time job. This is something for you to do, for you to set aside, whatever time you can a day and to learn a new skill. Okay, and can I give one other example? I'm sorry, Kaitlin, this
No,
just came to
you
my
go
mind.
right ahead. Absolutely. You go right ahead.
Let's say you spend 45 minutes and you're educating about Fermaglo. You're educating about our products, our shampoos, what is fermentation, what are humectants, all the different things. Here's what these products do, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And you don't have to be, you can put your link in bio, or you can tell them where to go shop from your replicated link throughout that entire presentation. But just think about this. What if you sold $2,000, which that is a very good average for someone that's regular on this platform. In 45 minutes, if you sold $2,000, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
do the math. Anyways, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Just to piggyback on top of that, obviously that's the ultimate goal is you want to convert sales, but like doing what you're doing and staying consistent with this series that you're doing and building those relationships and having those viewers come back over and over and over again, that's ultimately your goal so that they're trusting you and they're trusting what you're saying. And ultimately that will lead them to hopefully purchase the product. So it's that conversion that, is the goal for sure. All right. So the next slide is just talking about engagement. And I feel like this is kind of, it goes unsaid, but when someone makes a comment on your video, you want to make sure that you're commenting back and you're replying. A lot of times, if it's a question that they ask or if it's a suggestion that they make or anything like that, you can even turn that into another video. You can reply with a video. And I feel like a lot of times TikTok will even push that out even more because that engagement piece is super important in the algorithm. And then also just asking questions, whether it's a text on screen, whether it's you in front of the camera or a voiceover, and using a call to action, especially at the end of your video. If it's a short video, if it's a live, whatever it is, when you're directing your viewers to, act on something, to save the video, to comment on the video if they want to see more, to click on your shopping cart, to click on the link to see, the sale price or the different colors of the top that you're wearing or whatever it is, if you're calling them to action to do something, then that promotes that engagement piece as well. All right, hashtags and SEO. SEO, search engine optimization. TikTok is a search engine. It has become a search engine just like Google, just like whatever. People go to TikTok and they search whatever. And so when you are talking about something, you're promoting a product or, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're using keywords and you want to use those in your hashtags. I would not get overly zealous with the hashtags. I feel like sometimes it can be a little spammy. You want to narrow it down. So you want to use a couple that are related to your niche. So maybe like for me, I might do, OOTD and then sneakers. And then I might do viral and FYP, or whatever. So kind of narrow it down to your niche and then have a couple that are a lot more broad and you have, I feel like, a better chance of hitting somewhere. I feel like, honestly, TikTok, let's just be real, a lot of it is based on luck and what catches and what gets out there. Yes, consistency is key, and using keywords and hashtags and different things that people are searching. But a lot of times it's just what happens to catch at the right time. And so using just, using the right hashtags, using the right keywords, I feel like can help you in that sense. When you are using these keywords, okay, you want to use them on the screen, you want to use them, you want to say them verbally, you want to use them in your caption for your video, and you want to put them in a hashtag. It's like the more you can use that word or words and put them out there, the more likely it is to catch and to be pushed out more and more. Okay. The next thing, lighting. I have found that when I first started TikTok, I I had like this little itty bitty ring light. And I mean, it was fine, but I have invested in, we have good natural light, but a lot of times I'm doing videos in the evenings and at nighttime because I'm at work during the day. So when I'm making content, I need good lighting. So I have invested in a good ring light because you want to make sure that the quality of your video is good. Yes, quality is important. Quantity is also important. But I have learned that the lighting makes a huge difference. I film my videos on cinematic mode. So like, and I'm talking about my short videos. I'm not talking about like lives and things like that. But I have gotten to where I mostly film on cinematic mode on my camera. I use my back camera. I make sure I have my ring light on, and I make sure that I have a nice, clean, orderly background behind me. So I don't have a bunch of stuff, jumbled up junk. And I feel like another thing is having a consistent place or background that you're using time after time after time. So I feel like a lot of it comes back to consistency, but lighting is key, orderly background, and making sure that things are neat and tidy around you just promotes that good quality. All right. Next, these are just kind of posting best practices. I would say when you're starting out, posting 1 to 3 times per day is good. That's kind of how I started. And, I was using the trends and things like that. Once I started in the affiliate program, I was working to more like 3 to 5 videos a day. And now that I've been in it for a while, I see the most difference in success and conversions and sales when I'm posting 6 to 10 videos a day. So it truly is about quantity with TikTok. I feel like at least that has been my personal experience. But when you're first starting out, I feel like posting 6, 7, 8, 10 times a day is super overwhelming. So even just starting small, posting 1 to 3 times a day, making sure that you are consistently posting during, kind of prime times. I posted some ideal times on here. Morning, 8 to 9 a.m., my videos tend to do pretty well right around lunchtime, and then in the evenings. And it should make sense because, people are on their phones mostly during those times and on their breaks and things like that, or when they get home after work. So just making sure that you're consistent, even if it's one video a day, posting every day is super important when you're first getting started on this app. And then I feel like the major thing and the major takeaway is consistency. I put on here number one, consistency over perfection. If you do a video and you spend so much time so worried about every little thing on that video when you're editing, you're going to get burnout so fast. Like, you just need to, as long as you're consistent and you're putting things out there, even if it's not perfect, that's okay. TikTok is more concerned with you consistently posting videos than how perfect your video is. And I had to learn that because at first, I wanted everything to be so, and I wanted it to be perfect. And I was spending tons of time just editing every little thing. And I got burnt out super fast. Um, Also, just a suggestion, coming up with like a series or something that you can consistently post every day. So when I first started posting, even before I became a TikTok Shop affiliate, I started a series, Teacher OOTD. And 180 days of outfit of the day with me as a teacher. And so every day I was posting an outfit of the day. I even did it on the weekends just to kind of fill in, making sure that I was consistently posting. But if you can come up with some sort of series related to what you feel like your niche is going to be, that could be a good start for you. Even if it's a part one, part two, part three, part four of something, that you're sharing. If you can create some sort of series that's going to bring those viewers back for more, I feel like that's a good strategy that you can use. And it also kind of helps keep you accountable too, because there are times when I was like, oh, I don't feel like posting today. And my husband, Dustin, was like, well, you got to do your OOTD. You got to do your day, 75 or whatever. And so it really holds you accountable, making sure that you're consistently posting if you create something like that. Okay. You could do, a product of the day, or it could be anything. So you can brainstorm and we can give suggestions or whatever, but I just feel like that's something that is easy, that, like I said, can help keep you consistent, and hold you accountable to make sure you're posting every day. My third point there is post every day. I have it in all caps with 3 exclamation points. That truly is the most important thing. And TikTok rewards consistency. That's what I have seen the most from my personal experience with being on TikTok and growing my following.
So I want to simplify this, Kaitlin, because a lot of times people get overwhelmed like this and saying, okay, this looks like a full-time job, right? But it isn't, right? It's
Yeah.
you working smarter so you can batch your content. And especially if you can keep high tips, and you've seen this happen on, and again, Twitter, I still say Twitter, X. No matter if it's X, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or what have you, if you do a personal video 3 minutes or less, it is good across the board on all platforms that you can just take that video. You can put the notes in there, what your caption is going to say, copy paste it, boom, boom, you're done. It's 5 minutes. So now what I have done is on Wednesdays today, I batch content that I have little mini videos that I can post. It takes me an hour, but you guys also have to remember only 10% of your folks are seeing this. You can reuse the same content.
Mm-hmm.
So, make sure that it's actually really simple. It does not take a lot of time unless you're going to go live more often. But I'm going to tell you, live is the way to go. It just is. And if any of you want to go live with me, I am more than happy to do that. I will stop interrupting. This has been fantastic. Keep going, girlfriend.
So just some final takeaways. And yes, you're right. Like, I know sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but it really is super simple. Um, you just have to put your mind to it and commit to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to work toward. If I'm going to build my following on TikTok, this is what I have to do. Making sure, whatever videos that you're coming up with, you're hooking people fast, whatever, if it's movement, if it's text on screen, if it's saying something to catch their attention, posting consistently, make sure you're posting daily, and then just be yourself. Like, you don't have to be anybody else, whether you're educating people about something, whether you're entertaining people, like if that's more of your style and who you are, doing dances and being funny and making funny videos, like that can be your thing. But educating people, entertaining people, or inspiring people, that truly is what you're there to do on that app. And if you can do that, then you'll gain that following. And just being yourself and not trying to be anybody else, I truly feel like you will see that success. But on top, just piggybacking on top of what you said about batching content, I do that just because if I didn't, I would be doing TikTok for hours and hours every single evening, and I wouldn't be spending the time I needed to, personally with my family and things like that. So if you can set aside time to film, just even if it's three or four different little things, different little videos at one time, and you can use those to post throughout the day. If you can dedicate a certain amount of time each week to do that, keep yourself consistent, then I think you'll see lots of success.
Great information, Caitlin. I mean, wow, that was incredible. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go to the chat so we can see what people have been saying. Let's see here. Sorry, I've got too many things open.
I'm not sure if Naomi wanted to add anything to that. She's very good on that platform. She's also really good. I want to go back and you guys, I'm going to share this with everybody, but the Drug Sales News came out with a great podcast. I just finished listening to it on my way home from my event, but it was talking about is that you can't, and it frustrates me when I see people doing this. You have to build your personal brand, and you can't build your brand by promoting a company and what they're doing. This has to be about you. Personal brand is number one. And this is why we encourage you to get out there and try different things like this. But if you're going to be an affiliate for TikTok and you're going to be a TikTok seller as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to go to your government, your government website. So whether you like southcarolina.gov, maryland.gov, washington.gov, wherever you live, you have to do a name search first. Some states charge for it, some don't. Once you do the name search, then you reserve that name, then you go to irs.gov, okay, and you get your EIN number. Also, through that digital process, you will get your EIN form. You will download it to your computer. Please don't download it to your phone. But you can, what happens is that you need to take a screenshot of that and then upload it into TikTok because they will ask you for your documents or you will not be approved. Okay. Now, with that being said, you can still be an affiliate with less than 1,000 followers, but you cannot go live and be a part of TikTok Shop until you have those 1,000 followers. So if you guys aren't following me on TikTok, I need another like 102 likes. No, because I want to road test it. I want to be there walking alongside you through this journey because this is a part of who we are as a company. We're a digital brand as well as everything else. So, you know what? The trend is here. It's not going anywhere. So, the more familiar that we can get with it right now in the beginning, and especially as we're just launching the company, it's going to benefit you even more.
I couldn't
And
agree.
that was absolutely pure gold, Caitlin. Thank you so much
Well,
for
thank
doing this
you.
on
I
such
was,
Yeah.
notice. It was
yeah,
incredible.
absolutely. I was thrilled to do it. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
And I have to agree. You guys remember, I know this is scary. I know this sounds really big and it sounds like it's very time consuming. But as Caitlin said, do it in smaller bits, right? If you can take the next between now and the end of December and commit to 1 to 3 posts a day, 1 to 3 posts, and then really start to get a feel, do it ugly. Cares? What's the worst that happens? You laugh or somebody says, "Oh, I saw your video. Were you being funny?" And you want to go, "Well, yeah, I was really being serious, but obviously that didn't work out so well, right?" Who cares? Have fun with it. But at the very least, you're going to start to get a feel for how it works. You're going to start to get a feel for what your niche is, as Caitlin was talking about. What is it you feel really comfortable talking about? You're going to find it. I promise you. We've got another 20 days, 21 days in this month. It's a great time to do this and
I,
just play with it.
yep. Yeah, I mean, you could literally just be like Monica when she went live for on the very first time Monday morning last week. She's in her jammies. She's just having a chit chat with everybody on there, but it was being genuine, and that's what people want. People want authenticity. So, for example, you guys, because I'm on this whole kick of, blowing all of this, stuff out of the water with all of, and right now it's actually going to turn into a four-part series. So I'm really glad that you said that, Kaitlin, because I have people tuning in because I said I'm going to be live around 1:30 every day. And so today was the second series on the Botox, but we got into so much conversation. I got a really cool gal that, we're gonna meet outside of TikTok. She's in a similar journey that we've been on. And yeah, so you never know who you're going to meet, but it's all about the connections that happen after you get done with your live. But don't be afraid to talk about things that you're passionate about, right? I could give three shits, and you guys know this, right? Who cares? If you have haters, good, embrace it. That is awesome. But talk about, some of those key pillars, like, so Kaitlin's known for fashion. I'm known for, really talking about health, wellness, and natural, solutions. I told Monica it was great. She got into a conversation. You guys, I would love for you to come on my lives. Monica was talking about how she was, taking this preventative approach and how she had a double mastectomy. I mean, you could heal and help so many people through your own personal journeys. You don't even know it yet. But that's about building your personal brand, right? What makes you tick? What is the thing? And you know what? I think we should have a competition of the coolest like headbands, Debbie, right? For Christmas. But I mean, just fun stuff like that. Oh, look at Monica. She's got like all of them.
She's gonna jerry rig something
It's
up,
from
and it's
our
gonna be
it's
like,
from our podcast where we bash Adam. It's just part
And
of it.
by the way, yeah, and by the way, if you guys have not heard their podcast, Hair It First, it is hilarious. So, you've got all of these amazing things. This training that we did tonight. I'm just saying, guys, what if you could add an extra $1,000 a week just by taking three key things that Kaitlin talked about? What were your three takeaways? Put it in the comments of how you're going to show up differently. And I know that some people are not, they don't embrace social media. They're not on it that much. That's fine. That's all well and good. You've got the rewards program, right? You've got the opportunity, you've got the scripts, you've got the training for social media. It doesn't matter. Just pick one or two and just go with it and become a master at it. 1 to 3
I
posts a day series presentation, multiple posts per day. Yep. Finding a series to talk about. Yep. I mean, Monica, just because you're an extension specialist, you could totally talk about, how you're going to get those nasty things out of your hair.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good
how
one.
many of you guys are horse people? I know that there's a lot of people that are farms or homesteading. There you go, you guys. People are so interested in that right now. Like making sourdough. So you guys, back when I was, outside coaching people to build courses, still to this day, my girlfriend was doing these things on how to, before sourdough became a thing, right? And I showed her how she could build a course, and she's still making like 20, $30,000 a month making how to show people how to make sourdough freaking bread, right? So you have there's so many different opportunities out there. Yes, this is a huge part of it, right? Yes, this should be your focus because it's a great product. We know how much people love it. The business opportunity of it, the compensation plan. You guys, once the shares start turning a profit, y'all are going to be like, what the hell? So again, you got to be, definitely out there. You've got to make the main thing the main thing, but you still have to talk about what's important to you in building your brand. We're just partnering up with you on that.
Debbie has a great question. She said she's already on TikTok as Grammy Deb and posts regularly, and she wants to know if she can incorporate Fermaglo. Absolutely. The
Absolutely.
grandkids are dirty. Or my granddaughter, I always tell she looks like she's homeless. I'm like, you need some detangler right now. And every time she walks by, spritz her with the detangler. It'll be hilarious. And most people can relate, right? Because they're out there playing, and you're like, we need to run to the store, and you look like I just got you out of bed. So
You don't
absolutely
ever,
incorporate all of it.
yep, don't ever take away from your personal brand because that will sell more for you than anything in the world. We can give you all the tools, right? But we can't, nobody can be Debbie. Nobody can be Jody. Nobody can be Tracy. You guys, you are Tracy, you're Jody, you're Debbie, right? I'm Tony. It's not going to work for you what works for me because your messaging, your brand, your what you love is different, right? Like I can't stand, I went to this meeting tonight and it was they were doing as a holiday, it was crafts and I'm not a crafter. I'm like, ugh, right? I'm just sitting there and I'm just chit-chatting with people, trying to find out what makes them tick. But, talk about all the different things that you do and you just weave Fermaglow in with it as a brand that you love, as a brand that you trust. And think
How
about those
many-
trust factors that you have with your circle. Sorry.
No, no, I was just going to say, and how many of you are using ChatGPT regularly? Raise your hand. Okay, ChatGPT is learning your style, right? One of the best things you can do is ask ChatGPT for some guidance on what to post. Yeah, I did this the other day, and I asked it for what should I be doing on a consistent basis to post in TikTok this week, and give us some ideas.
Can
For
I
Tony, it'd be toxic Tony, or it could be, whatever. It could be Adam could be doing beards and brews.
actually, you know what, Adam, you would totally crush it on that. I showed a couple of guys that I know some of your stuff, and they absolutely just think it is amazing. So you guys, I've been working on this AI training for network marketers, but I just want to go back to what Anissa said. Here's the thing, you're going to get a lot more out of it, whatever platform here's the top two that I recommend is either Gronk or Claude. I don't like Gemini. I think it doesn't give you the full information. Um, hold on a second. He just had a Jay just had a weird pop-up come up. But I just wanna share with you the number one way that you can do this, and you guys, I'm sharing this training before anybody else has seen this, is that the best thing that you can do to save time is AI for immediate use for network marketers, helping you to write posts, replying to DMs, creating captions, doing follow-ups, helping with scripts, helping with content ideas, and also helping with objections. You could do a whole series on objections, right? The best thing that you can do right now for your business is to get the $30 a month paid version of whatever platform you like. I'm not a fan of Claude either. DeepSeek, not a fan. The biggest one is ChatGPT. The second one is Gronk. Pay the $30 a month. It's well worth the investment on the time that it's going to save you. So now, my chat GPT, her name, and I said her, I did, because I have feminized her. Her name is Globot. But so what I have done is I have uploaded all 2025 pages of my training from over the last 10 years. I've taken all of the current training that I've done, some of the current podcasts that I love, some trends, some statistics from our industry. I share a lot of what's done through the DSN and all that kind of stuff. But now every time I ask her to put something together, it's mine. It's my personal IP. It's my intellectual property, but it doesn't take me 2 weeks to sit down and write a training program. It already takes all of my content, all of the Fermaglow that I have fed that girl, and it just does wonders. And it's like, oh yeah, this is all me. So I didn't have to recreate the wheel. I just already fed it what I already have collected. So you think about all of that, and whether you realize it or not, all of the stuff that you saved in your phone, your notes, your pictures, other stuff that you've listened to, podcasts that you love, that's all your language. You know what, Monica, honestly, I probably should upload all of the series of the Hair at First podcasts into that because it will also speak to who we are as a company and our personality. But let AI, you need to teach it. You are the teacher. And Kaitlin, if you're not currently using it quite a bit, and as a teacher, you would understand this. So AI learns what we teach them. And I'm sorry, we're already over on time. This was a super interesting conversation. I'll just shut the fuck up.
No, it was great. Well, and I was going to say, I was just talking to Michelle Brocky yesterday. She was like, I'm feeling stuck. I don't know what I should be sharing, blah, blah, blah. I said, do you like Pinterest? She goes, yeah. I said, do you ever find those little mem statements, that pops up and it says these cute little verses, and you find some of those that you really like? Screenshot them, save them, and give it to ChatGPT to hold for you to use later for inspiration. It's a great way to put it in there and go, hey, I really like this. What kind of story post? What kind of post could I come up with off this? Now, I don't always love what it does, but then I can go, hey, we need to tweak this. This sounds more like me. And I always end up changing it a little bit. But I'm telling you, the more it learns what piques your interest, like Tony was just saying, what is your thing, the better it's going to get at being able to duplicate your thoughts for you in a way that you can share later. It will cut down your time drastically.
Can I just say one more thing too about this, you guys? I used to hate putting stuff in folders and everything. Like I have, these thousands of documents. They're all over like three different computers that I've had over the last 5 or 6 years. So when I condensed everything together, you can make really simple folders in Chat, GPT, and Gronk, and I feel so much more organized now. And people will tell Naomi especially, she's my kid. People will tell you how scattered I can be because I just have all of these ideas flowing one after the other after the other. But what I can do is I can go upload that all in one place and then it'll be segmented out into those idea categories too. So if you guys are really creative or really passionate about certain things, you can create separate folders for those and then you can just keep everything in one spot. It's really the coolest thing ever. And for someone that does not like technology, that is completely disorganized in her thoughts, um, I mean, it's been able to help me incredibly keep track of a lot of things that I want to see come to fruition. So just something else for you to think about.
Absolutely. So big win. We have Miss Tracy Peterson on the call for the very first time, brand new business partner, just joined with Ashley
Yay!
Cleaver. So Tracy, I got your last name right this time. So thanks for putting up with my mispronunciation earlier. Just so glad to have you join us. I hope you've enjoyed this call. Do you have any questions or anything you want to say?
Not right now. I think I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
She's like on her first call and she's getting all this information. So Tracy, just let us backpedal here a little bit. I'm all about face to face. I mean, that's what relationship capital for me is number one. But at the same time, we've got to address, the trends, the technology that's happening in our industry. But across the board, we're fully, it's a full circle, right? It's face to face, it's technology, it's social media, and it's a combination of all three. So we're super excited to have you here. Welcome to our family. Really excited and definitely make sure that if you have any questions, get your onboarding done, your business launch, all the things. Super, super exciting. And you guys, hey, listen, this is the perfect time because what you do now until the end of this year will set you up for a very successful Q1 of 26. And we've got some rocking and rolling. Can't tell any secrets, Anissa or Adam. Really got some really cool stuff planned for our first full year in 2026. And you just cannot wait. So excited you're here.
Thank you.
You
Guys,
guys, thanks
thank
for
you for
being
being
on.
on tonight.
Yeah, this is the first call that we did as a mid-month check-in. So really appreciate you guys. Love you. Anissa, bring us home, sister.
You guys, I want to congratulate you on being here. I want you to always remember to celebrate your wins, and being on these calls is a win. Kaitlin, I appreciate you so much for sharing all of that. That was so much more digestible than I expected it to be. I won't
Good.
lie. There was a couple of spots where I was just going, holy crap, no, no. And then you would talk us through it and I would feel better. So thank you for the way you presented that. I can definitely tell you're a teacher.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
You're a rock star. You
Thank
guys, I want to tell you all thank you again. We love you. We cannot wait to see you when we have another call Monday. So hopefully we will see you Monday night on the business partner recap. We love you guys. Sweet dreams.
Love you guys. Mwah.